Stock game weekly deposits, a new way to get students thinking about building a portfolio, not just buying stocks. So here's a scenario. Your students are playing the stock game on Personal Finance Lab. You set it up just like you would any other stock game, with students getting one lump sum of cash to begin with. But really, this is not quite the same as building a portfolio over time. You don't really want your students to randomly pick stocks and then just kind of watch it throughout the entire semester. So how can we get students to build an evolving investing strategy throughout the full semester, really thinking about what it would mean to build a portfolio over time? That's why we came up with weekly deposits. It's a great way to modify the stock game to act more like an evolving investment portfolio that someone's building over the course of a long period of time. With weekly deposits, teachers set a weekly deposit amount. Cash is added to the students' portfolios every Monday, which they can then start to invest. The portfolio returns for the class are adjusted downwards, so the extra cash they got isn't free cash they can just spend, getting an extra portfolio return. It acts as if we increase their initial cash balance. So your class portfolio returns will still make sense even as the deposits are put in. Just like if you were to have your own brokerage account, they'll also adjust it based on the cash that you added to your account over time. Here's how you would set it up for your class. Weekly deposits can be added to your class either when you first set up your session, or you can add them later by adding in your class rules. To do it when you're first setting up your class, go to Administration and create a session. In this case, you're not going to want to use the Express setup, you're going to want to use Custom, because that will let you change more of the class settings. After going through your budget game settings and your stock game settings, you're going to want to customize these settings too. One of the first options is weekly deposits. It's 0 by default, but you can set any amount you'd like. We find with a lot of classes, one of the objectives teachers have is to really make investing applicable to their students. So rather than just saying $100,000, which is too much money for most high school students to think about, maybe they'll say $5,000, or maybe even $1,000. And then students would get an extra, say, $500 added to their portfolio every week. That means as the students are going through the semester, every week they have extra cash they need to think about how they're going to invest. If you want to add weekly deposits to your class after it's already been set up, this is also one of the rules that you find when editing your session settings and going to Edit Portfolio Simulation. There's a few important things to remember about weekly deposits. First, as I said before, the extra cash is added at the beginning of each Monday. That means if the students are going in over the weekend, they won't have that extra cash available yet. It'll only be there Monday morning. This acts as if it is added to their initial cash. It is not treated like bonus cash they would get from finishing an assignment or a dividend or extra cash you might give your students. All of their portfolio returns are adjusted to account for this starting cash. So in my previous example, if I had my $1,000 starting cash and then I added the extra $500 as a weekly deposit, the student's portfolio's return would be based on a $1,500 starting cash. With the extra cash that the student has in their portfolio, they have the choice of how to invest it. They can use it and divide that cash up with their current portfolio holdings, so basically maintaining their current diversification, just increasing each position, or they have the option to buy something else entirely. So this is one of the key important differences they need to think about when building their portfolio over time, and this is why it makes it a lot more powerful and more like in building an actual retirement account. They need to think what they're going to do with that cash. Just increase their current holdings, hold it as cash if the market is going down, or how would they divide this up to further diversify their portfolio with maybe another industry or another company. If you have any questions about how to use weekly deposits, contact our support team either at support@PersonalFinanceLab.com or using the live chat at the bottom of each page. Happy learning!